Welcome to the guide for my starter build, Occultist Bane Essence Drain. In the first video, I explained leveling gear and passive tree I used to farm Act 9. This time my focus is on farming red maps and making currency for the endgame. When I look for starter build, for me the most important is playstyle, how strong is the build and how much currency I need to invest. Also very important is starter build meant just to farm currency at the start of league, or it can be used as the main build for the endgame. In this video I will explain why Occultist Bane is my favorite starter, but first here is a short story about this build. I first made this build back in 3.9 Metamorph League. I did easily all endgame content and I really liked the playstyle. So since then this was my starter and main build in 3.10 Delirium and in 3.11 Harvest League. In the Harvest League it was easy to min-max this build and push to a crazy amount of damage. And the good news, in 3.12 this build is strong as it was in previous league. Now let's talk about currency and how much you need to spend on this build. To farm Act 9, 10 and white maps, you need to spend less than 10 chaos. You can check my previous video for all details. The next step is to get upgrades to be able to farm red maps. For these upgrades you will need to invest around 2 exalted orbs. Now, if you want to farm endgame bosses like Cyrus Awakening level 8 or Uber Elder, you will need to improve your single target damage. The most important upgrades are standard 6-link Essence Drain bow, 6-link chevron wrappings, presence of Chayula Amulet, empower level 4 and 5 cluster jewels, 1 large, 2 medium and 2 small. So to be able to farm all endgame bosses, you need to spend around 30 exalted orbs. The best thing about these upgrades, except 2 uniques, you can craft all items yourself. While crafting items for your Bane build, you can also craft these items for trade and make a huge amount of currency. I will try my best to upload all crafting guides you need for this build as soon as I craft them for myself. This build can run all map mods, no need to worry about reflect. For no mana regeneration you can use a mana flask, and for elemental weakness you can use the purity of elements if need. Playstyle is extremely easy and it is beginner friendly. 95% of the time you need to cast just one spell, Bane. When compared with Spell Slinger, this version of the Bane build has probably 5 times more damage, especially a single target. Build is good for farming maps and endgame bosses. Can do all endgame content, includes Cyrus Awakening level 8, Uber Elder, Simulacrum, Blight maps, even can easily run the whole of Grandmaster's map. With presence of Chayula Amulet or with Wild Bastion notable, you are immune to stuns. By crafting cannot be frozen mods on boots, you are also immune to freeze. With this build you can easily reach 75% resistance for chaos, which is nice defense boost. Damage with this build is much higher than damage on Trickster, one of the reasons Occultist is better choice for non-hardcore league. This build is also easy to modify. There are lots of options on the passive tree to either improve your defense or increase your damage. If you focus on energy shield, it is possible to have more than 14k energy shield. Finally, if you play on an old PC, this build is good choice. There are no minions or lots of projectiles to slow down your PC. Now, if you play in the league where defense is more important, the better choice is a Trickster. This is not a face tanking build. You will need to move and avoid damage. Don't stand in the fire. 6-link chevron wrappings, which this build uses, is usually very expensive at the start of the league. To be able to farm all endgame content, you need to invest around 30 exalted orbs. There are builds that cost less and can run the same content. Now let me show you playstyle inside Tier 15 map. My main skill is Bane. This skill applies a debuff to enemies in an area, which deals chaos damage over time. Linked curses also are also applied to those enemies. The debuff deals more damage and lasts longer for each curse applied this way. This means if I link curses with Bane, I don't need to manually cast, which makes playstyle much easier. I can clear the whole map by just using Bane and my movement skill Flame Dash. To help me with single target damage, especially on bosses, I use Wither Totems and Essence Drain. On bosses, I start with Wither Totems. In less than 2 seconds, these totems apply 15 stacks of the debuff. With this debuff, the boss will take up to 108% more damage. After totems, I cast Bane and follow up with Essence Drain. Because both Bane and Essence Drain has a long duration, I'm free to run and avoid boss attacks. This is not the face tanking build, you need to move and avoid damage. If my energy shield is low, I have the option to use Val Discipline. Your and nearby allies' energy shield recharges are not delayed by damage. In case I need more damage, I can use Val Righteous Fire. I started farming red maps around level 80. Now I'm level 90. To be able to farm red maps, I spend around 150 chaos or a bit less than 2 exalted orbs. With this setup, I have more than 9000 energy shield. My death count is 7, and so far I died only once inside the maps, meaning it is easy to stay alive because my play skill is nothing special. This part of the video is also a making currency guide, so be sure to not skip this part. I will show you all my items and how to search for those on trade page. This way you can find lots of cheap items which you can use for this build, or after you add crafting bench mod, resell for a high profit. Try to learn recipes rank 3 for chaos damage over time multiplier and also rank 3 for increased energy shield and to maximum energy shield. If you are unlucky with these recipes, you can always send me message. All crafting service is free, just bring currency for bench cost. And here is my gear. I use wand and shield. Wand I paid 8 chaos and 4 chaos was bench mod. Shield was 10 chaos. As you can see, it has more than 200 energy shield, which is really nice. Helmet was cheap, only 6 chaos. For body armor I paid 45 chaos, 6 link, and I think you can get a bit cheaper. Rings was 2 chaos each, and Amulet I paid 3 chaos. On Amulet I use Anointment Hex Master. For this I paid 11 chaos for oils. This way I don't need to spend 4 points for Hex Master and can use those 4 points on something else. Also, if you want to invest a little more, you can anoint overcharge. Oils I think are around 30 chaos. For overcharge, you will get 8% chance to gain frenzy or endurance charge on kill. Frenzy charge will give you 3 charges, will give you 12% more damage, and for endurance charges, your immortal call will be better. So you will get more defense. But in that case, you will need to again spend 4 points to get Hexmaster. Also, a bit expensive solution to get endurance charges for Immortal Call is to use the Red Dream unique jewel. You can socket this jewel in this jewel socket, and as you can see, you will get 8% from Void Barrier as chance to gain endurance charge on kill. But this jewel is a bit expensive, so I did not include it in um, this budget version because I played all the time even without Immortal Call. So uh, because with high amount energy shield and temporal chains from Bane, it is easy to stay alive. Okay, next for gloves, I paid I think 9 or 10 chaos. Uh, those are fingerless seal gloves for implicit 16% increased spell damage. A belt was a drop I think, but price is really cheap, one alchemy orb. Boots was 10 chaos, and they have nice amount of energy shield and some intelligence. I use one flask with immunity to ignite, two flasks with immunity to freeze. Freeze is really and chill is really annoying until you craft on boots cannot be frozen. But this is a budget beer and that mod cost one exalted orb, so it is not used. When you are on budget, flask will do fine. And I use one enduring mana flask mostly for effect. And with this flask I get 25% increased movement speed during flask effect. This movement speed stack with Quicksilver flask and also with Silver flask. Onslaught gives 20% increase attack, cast and movement speed. And I use, as you can see, two Quicksilvers. The last one is with immunity to bleeding. And also I paid 12 chaos for energy from within unique jewel. There is option to use another one. You can socket that second energy from within in this jewel socket and spec into melding. The gain for energy shield is a bit less, but it is option if you like more energy shield. But from my experience, around 7.5, 8k, 8000 energy shield is enough to easily stay alive. Everything about that is just a luxury, and you can stand a bit more in the fire. Now, let me show you how to search for all these items on official trade page for Path of Exile. To search for these wands on official Path of Exile trade page, select wand. Also no for corrupted and no for mirrored. In stat filters, first select total increase spell damage, minimum 40. And very important, empty prefix modifiers minimum 1. Next, select crafted increase spell damage and select not. We need to craft with our crafting bench, we need to craft chaos damage over time multiplier. So we don't need crafted mod. And also select count 1 for 2 level of all chaos spell skill gems and 2 level of all spell skill gems. Both are good for wand. And select count 1. And finally you select in trade filters maximum buyout price, your desired price. I use a bit higher price because there is the chance to find some really good wands that you can either use or resell for high profit. Now, while I was recording this, I found one really cheap for 6 chaos. Here it is. And as you can see, now I can just use my crafting bench and add 18 to 20% to chaos damage over time multiplier. Cost for chaos. So now you can price check this want. Select total increase spell damage 81, chaos damage over time multiplier, and +1 to level of all chaos spell skill gems. And let's see, there is nothing similar. Let's reduce a little bit. Is there a reason? Yeah, because this wand is Crusader based. Let's search now. As you can see, the minimum price is at the moment 1.2 exalted orbs. So now let's do one search with these filters, and you can see what kind of wands you can find. As you can see, with 40% chaos spell skill gems and open prefix for your crafting bench mod, only 2 chaos, 4 chaos, 4. Now to search for these shields, on trade page select shield, energy shield minimum 80, no for corrupted, no for mirrored, and stat filters select 2 level of all chaos spell skill gems, and very important, empty prefix modifiers 1, and select your desired price maximum, and now you can search. Let's see, I tried whispering to those 2 already sold. So now you know that on your list all shields will have empty prefix, meaning there is a chance to add crafting with your crafting bench another energy shield mod. So you are looking now for high tier for 2 maximum energy shield, or where is one? High tier for increase energy shield, like this one. You see, at the moment this shield has 83 energy shield. And let's try to buy this shield. And I got this shield for 5 chaos. Now, because there is empty prefix and there is space to add 56 to 69 to maximum energy shield. As you can see, there is space for that mod. And a roll is not the best, but let's see. Let's price check now. As you can see, after you add to maximum energy shield with your crafting bench, total energy shield will be much higher. And now you can use this shield in your build, or you can resell it for much more. Select total, level, and total elemental. Let's check. There is one mine at 140. So I will place this one at 100. I think 100 is nice. My most expensive shields are already sold. I had several with more than 250 energy shield. In case you search for these shields and there is nothing interesting and nothing good under your desired price, you can now select activate live search. So search and activate live search. And to search for these body armors, On trade page, select body armor. For item rarity, any non-unique. I prefer to use rare armors because of resistance, and usually it is possible to add some nice mod with crafting bench. Look for minimum 350 energy shield, 6 link, no for corrupted and no for mirrored, and total elemental resistance as you like. And as you can see, there are some nice, you can find some nice 6 link body armors already at 25 chaos. I paid for mine 45. And of course you can use chromatic orbs to easily get, it is easy to get 2 green and 4 blue. Of course, if you like, you can use the same tactic as for shields and search for empty prefix 1. Now you need to select a little bit lower energy shield and hit search. And now you need to find body armor that has option to add 2 maximum energy shield or increase energy shield. If body armor already have both mods, you cannot add another with your crafting bench. As you can see, like this had only one, and person was able, who is selling this body armor, was able to add 1 energy shield mod with bench. Here is one with open prefix and chance to add another mod with your crafting bench. So this 250 will go probably over 350 or 380. To search for this helmet on Path of Exile trade page, select Hubris Circlet, energy shield minimum stop 150, no for corrupted, no for mirrored, empty prefix 1, and total elemental resistance 40. And now you can see that these helmets are really cheap. You can see 1 chaos with empty prefix, and there is chance to add option to add crafting bench mod. This one look interesting. Let's see. 1 chaos, and here is the helmet. As you can see, there is space to add 2 maximum energy shield, costs just 1 alchemy orb, and I hit the lowest possible. Let's try once more. Yeah, that is better. Now you can select and price check and see that now this helmet has 258 energy shield after you increase quality to 20. It has 53 total elemental resistance, and let's check price now. Probably not much higher. I missed something. Shield 2, how much more? 250, it was 250. I think 250. Ten chaos, 8. So there is no space for some profit, but instead of paying 10 chaos or 19 chaos, you can pay just 1. Now here are my rings. I paid each 1 chaos, just 1 chaos. I looked for resistance and to maximum energy shield. To search for these rings, select ring, total elemental resistance, select, let's say 60, energy shield, to maximum energy, let's say 44, increase maximum energy shield, increase maximum energy shield, where is it? Here it is, 3% or 2, that is temple mod. Corrupted no, mirror no, search. And as you can see, you can find those rings really cheap. Here is one with empty prefix, 60 total elemental. This one is even better. It has 70 total elemental resistance and empty suffix. As you can see, there is only one suffix, meaning you can add one more resistance with your crafting bench, and it costs only 2 chaos. To search for amulets, select total strength, total dexterity minimum 16, to maximum energy shield 45 or 44, and increase maximum energy shield at least 15%. No for corrupted, no for mirror. Then you can see that already at 1 chaos you can find some really nice amulets. I think this one at 1 is even better than one I am using. Similar. And this one for 1 chaos also have empty prefix, empty suffix, so you can add like something like resistance. To search for gloves, write fingerless seal gloves, select minimum energy shield 90, no for corrupted, no for mirrored, total elemental resistance 30, and empty prefix modifiers 1. And let's see, look for one which you can where there is space to add either 2 maximum energy shield or increase energy shield. Like this one, there is space to add increase maximum energy shield. The higher tier, the more energy shield you can have. This one really nice. Tier 1 for maximum energy shield, and you can add with your crafting bench increase maximum energy shield. Now with boots you can make even more profit than with shields. Now for boots, select boots, select energy shield minimum 80, no for corrupted and no for mirrored. In stat filter, select increase movement speed minimum 30, empty prefix 1, and total elemental resistance is 30. Now let's search. And now you look same as for shields, with you look for boots with empty prefix and option to add another energy shield mod with your crafting bench. Like this one. These boots have a space for increase maximum energy shield up to 74%. This way you can buy cheap boots for this build, and you can also make huge amount of currency. Almost enough currency for whole end game build by just buying these like this and selling these boots. Let's see what was Soul Road. Soul Road. Yeah. Trade. For thank you. As you can see, I sold boots for 4 exalted orbs and I paid those boots less than 10 chaos. And just used my crafting bench to add energy shield mod. Now here are my gems and links. In body armor, 6th link, I have Bane linked with Despair, Efficacy, Control Destruction, Swift Affliction and Temporal Chains. In my gloves, I have Cast when damage taken, Immortal Call and Increased Duration. I cannot increase level of duration or Immortal Call because I don't have strength, and I keep cast when damage taken at level 1. Also I have Vile Righteous Fire, because Vile Righteous Fire is connected with, linked with increased duration. Now it has almost 8 seconds duration. In my boots I have Essence Drain linked with Efficacy, Controlled Extraction and Void Manipulation. In shield I have multiple totems, Spell Totem and Wither. In my helmet I have Flame Dash linked with Second Wind and Arcane Surge. Keep Arcane Surge at level 6 or 7, so one Flame Dash will activate Arcane Surge. You can see how much your Flame Dash use mana by mouse over on your action bar. As you can see, my Flame Dash is at the moment 42 mana, meaning I can increase Arcane Surge to level 8, I think. I also have faster casting. Faster casting is not necessary, but at the moment I had open socket, so I used faster casting. In my wand I have Hex Blast, Malevolence and Discipline. Malevolence and Discipline are important. Hex Blast is just for fun. It is not needed or meant to be used, but as you can see, there is space for some more important gem like Smoke Mine. You can use Smoke Mine, select Detonite Mine on your left click, and you can combine Smoke Mine with Flame Dash to move even faster. Also, by doing contracts, I found some nice trinket. As you can see, mods are not bad. Now, here is my passive tree. I'm level 90, so at the start, let's repeat this. At the start, go pick Arcane Focus and Arcane Will, then go straight for no witnesses. That is my advice. No witnesses will give you a really nice movement speed boost. After you pick no witnesses, pick Growth and Decay and Arcane Expanse. At that point, you will be able already to use Bane, and Arcane Expanse and Growth and Decay are really good for damage boost and area of effect. After that, you can go and pick Atrophy this way. So pick some life and energy shield passives and one notable, and go pick atrophy. Atrophy is really nice for more damage. After atrophy, you can go and pick these nodes until entropy and stop at this point. After that, it is already nice to pick Wicked Word, and you can also pick Prodigal Perfection. I forget about that one. It is also for more damage. At this point, you have many options. You can pick, if you need more defense, you can pick Heart and Soul for more life and energy shield. No, this is for energy shield, because at this point you will not use energy from within. As you can see, Heart and Soul gives maximum life. Pick Arcanist Dominion, and after that you can pick Atmos Intellect and Essence Search for more energy shield. And go after that you can go for Hex Master and Corruption. Now, to avoid spending 4 points for Hex Master, you can, as soon as you have enough currency, you can anoint your amulet with Hex Master. I spend 11 chaos for this, for oils. And can I see which yeah, as you can see, you need to use crimson, black, is it black? Yeah, black and opalescent, or how you pronounced that color. So this way, when you anoint Hex Master on your amulet, you can save 4 passives. Corruption is still nice for damage boost. Okay, after you get shield around level 60-65, it is nice to pick Arcane Swiftness and Arcane Guarding. Of course, don't forget to pick Unnatural Calm, which gives more energy shield. All this cluster of passives give a really nice amount of energy shield. There is no strict way to pick these passives. Just go as you need. If you need more defense, pick energy shield or life, and if you need more damage, pick those with those damaging mods. And of course, you have option to pick Method to the Madness and Void Barrier. It's up to you when you will pick those points. And after you reach level 65-70 and you are close to the maps, you should pick Chaos Inoculation. This way you will get immune to chaos damage, and you should already have some nice amount of energy shield. Of course, be sure to pick and buy energy from within. As you can see, let's see how much. 8,300. That is 700 energy shield with this jewel, which is nice boost. The last 3 points I spent to pick Influence. These 3 points will increase aura effect for non-curse auras for 20%, meaning These 3 points will give more energy shield and more damage because I use Malevolence. Of course, Soul Thief is nice for increased maximum energy shield. Let's see, did I forget something? Yes, after you get House Inoculation, you can respec these 2 points because you can now connect your passive 3 this way. So you don't need to use those 2 passives. In your first labyrinth, you should pick Profane Bloom. This notable gives cursed enemies you or your minions kill have 25% chance to explode. These notable give explosions and it's really good for clearing speed and for leveling. In the next labyrinth, you should pick Void Beacon. Void Beacon is huge damage boost. It gives nearby enemies have minus 20 chaos resistance. This damage boost is as much as Trickster can get on whole 8 points. This is how big this Void Beacon is. In next labyrinth, you should pick Malediction. With Malediction, you get to apply 1 additional curse, and also there is damage buff, 15% increased effect of your curses. And also nice, enemies you curse have Malediction. Enemies with Malediction deal 10% reduced damage and take 10% increased damage, which is really nice buff. And for your last 2 points, you should pick Withering Presence for a really good boost for your chaos resistance, and also nice damage boost plus 20 to chaos damage over time multiplier. Of course, there is the option instead Withering Presence to pick Wild Bastion, and this notable gives you immunity to stuns. But I prefer to use, where is it? Soul of the Brine King until I buy Presence of Chayula Amulet. Also, beside Soul of the Brine King, most often I use Soul of Aberrath. If I need less duration of poison, I pick Soul of Shekari. Also nice is Soul of Garuhan for increased movement speed. As you farm red maps and get more currency, you can start investing in endgame version of the build. For endgame and farming Cyrus on Awakening level 8, the first upgrade, my advice is to craft or buy from trade is 6 link standard essence drain bow. If you craft this bow yourself, it will cost you around 8 or 9 exalted orbs. The next upgrade is 6 link chevron wrappings. After that, I don't mention Soul Strike because it costs probably less than 10 chaos. It is small investment. So after chevron wrappings, you will need to buy Presence of Chayula Amulet, and most likely you will need to spend nice amount of currency for expensive oils. The best anointment is Tranquility. Though I will mention right away, instead of Tranquility, you can maybe save some currency and pick Overcharge. Overcharge will give you less damage because it gives only 3 frenzy charges as damage boost, but will also give you 3 endurance charges on kill which will boost your immortal call. After presence of Shayula, you will need to buy level 4 at least one to use it inside the bow. When you place Bane inside the bow, links are Empower level 4, Efficacy, Control Distraction, Despair, and Temporal Chains. This way your Bane will get plus 7 levels, and if you use level 21, your Bane will be level 28. Meanwhile, you are using inside body armor Essence Drain. Essence Drain is standard links are Control Distraction, Efficacy, Void Manipulation, Empower, and Swift Affliction. If you cannot afford second level 4 Empower, you can use Empower level 3. For bosses like Cyrus, if your Bane is still not powerful enough, you should switch position for Essence Drain and Bane. Place Essence Drain inside the bow and place Bane inside the body armor to have higher single target damage. Because you now use bow and quiver, there is some little changes to links and gems and setup. So now inside, let's see, inside my boots I will have Wither and Spell Totems. To make space for some gems, I removed multiple totems. Also in boots I have Malevolence linked with Blood Magic. In my helmet I have Flame Dash, Arcane Surge, Second Wind, and Summon Skitterbots as an option for more damage. And in my gloves I have cast when damage taken, Immortal Call, Increased Duration, and Vile Righteous Fire. And my discipline is... where is my discipline? Here is. Vile Discipline is inside Unset Ring. This is just one of the options to set up your gems. You could remove one support for Flame Dash, Arcane Second Wind you can remove, so and make space that way for Vile Discipline. So you don't need to use Unset Ring. And next you will need to craft or buy 5 clusters. One large, where here is the large. The main notable you should try to hit is Misery Everlasting. That is the main. The other two should be with 30% increased chaos damage. It is nice to hit Wicked Pole, but it is not necessary. For medium cluster jewel, you have two options. You can go with combination of energy shield and damage and pick Vile Reinvigoration with Wicked Pole, or Vile Reinvigoration and Exposure Therapy, or you can go with medium cluster for full damage and pick 2 damaging notables. I usually prefer to use combination with energy shield and damage. And for small, you will need to use 2 small clusters with energy from Note as your main notable and try to hit minimum plus 13 to maximum energy shield. Here are my clusters. Now, some people make mistakes when they start using these clusters. My advice is don't use those 5 clusters until you have enough points to spec all 5. So you will need 19 points and you need to have all 5 clusters before you switch from my budget build to clusters. Because if you start picking up points for clusters, let's say large then medium, that is lots of points and your energy shield pool will be really bad. So my advice, wait until you can pick all 19 points and spec all 5 cluster jewels. Next upgrade you should try to get is helmet with labyrinth enchant, 30% increased despair curse effect. I checked today, it was I think 50 chaos. You need to buy item level 85 and then try to craft at least 300 energy shield. For gloves, you should try to get elder based minimum item level 80 gloves and craft plus 16 to chaos damage over time multiplier and combine that with some nice amount of energy shield if possible. For boots, the upgrade is to craft cannot be frozen mod. That is a really nice quality of life improvement. To save currency, my advice is to craft rings for this build. They are extremely easy to craft. You just need a bit luck and small luck, and investment in crafting is low. You need to use minimum item level 82 Crusader based rings and use dense fossils until you hit good combination of energy shield and increase maximum energy shield. That is all for crafting these 2 rings. Of course, I think it is better option to go with 2 moonstone rings and remove second wind from flame dash to make space for discipline. Belt, also my advice is to craft. This way you can save lots of currency. For belt you need to use minimum item level 82 Crusader base crystal belt. Same crafting as the rings, you need to use dense fossils. And finally for flask, try to get the Sword of Divine flask and Cinder Swirl from Katarina. This unique flask drops from Katarina, and try to get one with recover 3% energy shield when you kill an enemy during flask effect. This is a really nice defense. All points for shields are gone, so I respect those to be able to pick these cluster passives. And let's see, I also respect no witnesses, and depending on your playstyle you can respect more defense passives for energy shield, or you can respect some damaging passives like Arcane Expense. There is lots of options and variants. You can pick one you like the most. The main trick about this build is to try to craft items you need as upgrades. While you craft items for your build, you will be able to sell those same items for nice profit on trade. So you will actually make more currency than you actually need for the build. So usually when I craft for this build, I got all items I need and I have at least 50 or 100 exalted orbs as profit. In case you wish to go beyond this endgame version of the build and want to invest in min-maxing this build, I will post POB for min-max version of the build. If you have any questions about this build, you can leave them in comments or send me message inside the game. This will be all for now. Thanks for watching and see you next time.